Chart update 7th May, the end of the world. Time to do a World War III video, I think. Note to censors, we use only government data. If you have a problem with the results, speak to the government. New York City continues to entertain, but it's best appreciated in linear. Anyone who hasn't seen Death Sentence New York, this is a critical slide. The virus doesn't target the poor and those with third world healthcare problems. No, it is reported to attack global power centers, specifically Western power centers, attacking New York City 180 times worse than the world beyond New York, London and Brussels. In Europe, the closer you get to Brussels, Belgium, EU HQ, the more virulent the reported figures, with Belgium struck nearly 60 times worse than the world beyond the grip of the EU. Even inside the EU Europe, the core nations escaped some of Belgium's virulence, but were still hit around 20 times worse than the rest of the world, and massively more hit than e.g. Greece or EU other. Here's an infographic. I've never met a political virus before, but it's fascinating to watch. Meantime, the UK just continues to abuse the virus, EPP flat, cases rising above no lockdown, deaths approaching Hubei cases. That's what I said last time, and it's still true. Like New York, it looks so much better linear. In fact, it's so perfectly linear, I'm going to take a peek at it. And we're having as many deaths in a day as Hubei had in its entire contagion. And its deaths go up in a perfectly linear arithmetic line, except for the government boost of 4,161 in one day. Why bother with exponential or normal when you're making it up? It shows the breathtaking arrogance of the elite that they don't even bother to make it plausible. Strangely, I don't even feel angry. This now ends only one of two ways. Their fraud is displayed for all to see and they go to jail, or Britain is lost, utterly transformed into a subservient Orwellian nightmare. My neighbours were out on the lawn, maybe 20 of them, cheerfully drinking and chatting, but don't you dare mention the virus to them. Celebrating VE Day, when people died to keep this country free, when these people surrendered everything of value for a press conference, and don't want to talk about it. It really is beyond comment. Naturally, the cases just continue to wander off to the side, and sadly testing doesn't excuse it because our deaths have just decided to climb and climb and climb. The new case growth rate, of course, ceases to be relevant, as that too just wanders off, entirely ignoring peak and creating new cases as the government sees fit. More and more and more cases. So we won't even pretend that the UK is a virus anymore. No doubt there are a few legitimate Covid-19 cases out there, but that has nothing to do with the reported figures. As to Italy, I'm now going to regard all results over Hubei as contaminated, and we'll do a bulk scan from World Health Organization data. Let's see if there are any honest countries out there. I can't even exclude Australia or New Zealand from dishonesty, given that apparently they show no desire to let citizens out of lockdown. So the charts will be somewhat brisk. Why waste time on fiction? Italy, our original reference along with Hubei, is extended peak and declining. Algeria, EPP to climbing on cases, but excellent drop on deaths. So a safe and possibly honest nation. How refreshing. South Africa, back in a climbing regime. It once looked so good, but it's still at a low level. Zambia, not quite what virus, with a few deaths and climbing slightly. Barbados, thankfully clear of the power centres and essentially untouched now. Brazil, still climbing, though curling over. Would like to see it stop short of Hubei. Canada, EPP, deaths just about peaking. Worth a closer look given Trudeau's no normal till the vaccine. Ecuador, a fascinating relationship with data, given how jagged it is, extended, but is that pre or post peak? Mexico, curling over well below Hubei, still not at peak, fascinating how late a few countries are coming to the party. USA, EPP, and we'll be giving it more attention in the future. There may be an honest state in there somewhere. In fact, we've got a rundown of states for you, which I'll split into two, full screen. Austria, a candidate for an honest state with cases and deaths dropping off significantly. Belgium looks honest but massively overhit, ranking only behind New York and ahead of UK in the power centre exaggeration stakes. And look at those last death additions. Croatia, death sideways, but everything at a low level. Denmark takes extended to a new level. Is it going to become a permanent feature of Danish life? Finland, not happy, massively extended, death still climbing maybe, only at Hubei, but whose side are you on? France, I love this slide. You can almost see Macron. What is this? It is not enough. More cases, more death. Oui, Monsieur le Président. Germany, complying with the agenda, cases falling off, deaths reluctant to do so. Greece, poster child for the rebellion. We remember what you did to our savings. No compliance there, virus falling away. Hungary, cases falling, deaths sideways, low level. Iceland, cases sorted, testing over, deaths long gone. Ireland, post-peak from a very high level relatively, obedient to the agenda. Malta, Hubei cases a fraction of Hubei, deaths nothing new. Better things to do than obey Brussels, or maybe too small to be a target for them. Netherlands, extended, falling away, high deaths, loyal servant, done its duty. Norway, Hubei, Hubei, what can I say? Deaths tanking, nice job. Poland, sub-Hubei, extended post-peak, but at low levels. Portugal has the EU over Hubei, falling away a loyal child profile. Russia, ouch. Refreshingly honest and disappointing, still climbing, deaths not yet at Hubei. I confess I like Putin. I prefer an honest dictator to a corrupt, deceitful Western dictatorship. Spain, loyal to a fault, with deaths approaching Hubei cases and falling away in the approved manner. Sweden posted a child for a no lockdown, but I confess I no longer trust it. That EPP in cases, jagged cases and deaths, very high deaths, looks like a bad boy being brought into line. Switzerland, again high numbers, falling away, looks a bit too EU core for comfort, though technically reassuring, as it is falling away properly. Turkey looks almost normal, not yet a full member perhaps. Is there hope? Australia, the Far East, thank God, where things work like they're supposed to. Uptick in cases but downtick in deaths and 10 a day, looks great. Indonesia, extended but cases at Hubei deaths, not a country to worry about. Japan, cases falling away, deaths beginning to, might be able to celebrate an exceptional result. Korea finished a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Malaysia, falling at absurdly low levels. Notice that, EU? New Zealand, done. Now where's my sheep? Philippines, extended but at very low levels. Singapore, ultra-high cases, ultra-low deaths. Poster child for a patriarchal society. Effective versus nanny state, interfering. Taiwan, flatlined. Someone call a doctor! Oh yeah, that's a good thing. I forgot. Thailand, cases at Hubei deaths. Deaths visible, cases falling away. Yawn, back to the bars, lads. Vietnam, cases 10 times better than Hubei deaths, but they did have a death. Yep. Except they changed their mind and deaths are back to zero. Priceless. India, climbing, low level. Iran, I do love their Hubei emulation. Pity about the last uptick, once again ruining a slow, extended decline. Iraq, cases at Hubei deaths, extremely low level situation, but cases extending, not a threat, and minuscule deaths. Israel, over Hubei cases, under Hubei deaths. Testing, cases falling away, deaths a little more reluctant, but not a threat. Pakistan, disappointing race to get to Hubei in both cases and deaths. Going to have to wait on curlover for this one. There it is. Moral of the story is, don't be part of the US, UK, EU axis. That's what I said last time, and it's still true. Note to censors, we use only government data. If you have a problem with the results, speak to the government. I'm still Andrew Mather, 6-year-old Brit, mathematician, financier, technologist, husband, biker, pilot, healer, whatever. Feel free to get in touch, Andrew at peerlessreads.com or andrew@amather.com. Either should get to me.